government by the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented the 2025 fiscal budget to the Senate House of Assembly. Do you want to know what this budget contains? Well, stick around and find out on High Voltage. My name is Mavis Atodume, and we are live on YouTube. Please go to High Voltage News on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. And you can also call right into the studio to have a reaction, comment. I know that some of my listeners are ardent observers of political concerns in the country, and I'm sure some of you have seen what this budget contains and what the federal government has to say about it. So focus on the budget this morning. Tell me what you think. I want to hear analysis, contributions, reactions to the budget and what took place on the internet yesterday while the president was dropping quotes and things from his own personal handles, and we too were having our say because it's an open space and everyone is expected to air their views. Now that's what we're doing this morning, and I also have a lawyer, that is Mr. Onyedika Ede, who doesn't like to be called a barrister for very obvious reasons, which he has tried to explain on this platform a couple of times. So he's going to come in so that we can ask him a few things, because I told you I needed to prepare some of my listeners for house hunting next year because it's a concern. So we're bringing in Mr. Onyekachi Ede, and of course Realtor King's representative, a real estate guru in Enugu, Elijah, to come and talk to us about some of the things that we need to put, at the back of our minds. Some people are relocating because it's the end of the year. A lot of people are getting married and leaving their old homes and moving into new apartments and things like that. So between January and February is a time that people invest a lot in real estate. People who come into the country, brothers and sisters from the diaspora, the I just got backs, who are going to make property investment this period. So I want these professionals to come and drop a few advice and tips, for you here and there. We will be doing that this morning, okay, as well. That is if they do come in. But ordinarily, the newspaper reviews and headline analysis is officially on. So let me take you to the national dailies. Let's see what is happening in our country and what to expect, at least today of all days. All right, so I hope you're up and ready and you have started to make very productive use of your day. Now, let me take you straight to the punch. Federal government plans 13 trillion naira loan as President Tinubu presents 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget. I'll take that again. Federal government plans 13 trillion naira loan as President Tinubu presents 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget. I'm going to break down the way that these monies have been allocated, and I would like to hear your thoughts on the division of these monies that you have heard of. PSC promotes over 8,000 police officers. All right, I hope the promotion translates to good reforms in the Nigerian police force. All right, let's move forward. Cash scarcity, OPS, for CBN limit on POS withdrawals. Just yesterday, you had me tell Nigerians that they had a limit of 100,000 naira from their POS vendors whom you have delegated us getting our monies back from. We can't get it back from you, the banks that we gave it to. We have to go buy our monies back from POS machines. And now you have restricted how much of our monies that we can get, especially during a festive period. You said we can only get 100,000 naira a day per person in Nigeria, in a place where a bag of rice costs 130,000 naira. I don't know if you people, I don't know if you're thinking, or this is how you think, but this is the brain that some of you are crossing the roads with. No wonder we're standing right where we're standing, because what do you mean? That a country as heavy as business people with businessmen and women, and you say they can only take 100,000 naira from a POS machine in December. Anyways, let's move forward. This morning, just in, State House budgets 15 billion naira for SUV cars, tires, and office complex. I don't know if you know how much our budget is, but 15 billion naira for SUV cars, tires, and office complex. This hunger that you people speak about must be a mirage that some of you have. Let's see if there's more interesting things to grab from the Punch newspaper this morning. All right, I think that's as good as it gets. Let's go somewhere else, the Daily Post, and tell you this morning, Knox, kudos, trail Tinubu's 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget proposal. All right, moving forward, diabetes, World Health Organization project raises concern in Nigeria over the increase in diabetes. Well, shockers, hello. Do you know how much fruits cost in the market, in the Nigerian market? Fruit, vegetables have become luxury products in our country. Yes, of course, there will be a rise in diabetes because people are going to increase the sugar intake. It's just natural. You're supposed to know that these things are quite it's a natural process. It's meant to happen when there is famine, when there is hunger and poverty in the land. Of course, there is a greater intake in sugar consumption because sugar is a happy substance. It makes many people happy, triggers certain happy hormones. A lot of things are happening in our society, and everybody's walking around like we are some magic performers who don't have any repercussions from actions. Like we act around here, like the things we do have no consequences. That is our major problem. We've removed the part where there is consequence to actions because of the grace of God. And because of so many things we've told ourselves, we've forgotten of people being held responsible for things that they do. So here we are. We are being spoken to in ways that we can't even comprehend. But what can we do about it? Let's move forward. Hackers have gained control of the MBS website. All right. Let's move forward. Don't pass Tinubu's proposed 2025 budget. It's anti-people. PP tells NAS. Okay, anti-people. Budget of 2025. PDP claims it's anti-people. Moving forward, stubborn ministers have no place in your cabinet. Akpabio tells Tinubu. All right, by stubborn, they mean if you have a different opinion thereby. Okay, let's see if there is more to grab on the political scene this morning. Some senators won't see 2025 budget before it's passed, says Adeonju. Okay, let's see if there's something else that's good to go. 2025 budget projections are unrealistic, says Abia State analyst. I'm so, I'm exhausted, trying to make sense of these things. Let's move over to the vanguard. Presidential elections between Ghana, Nigeria, 7 reasons beavers may never work in Nigeria, says investigations. Well, so far, so good. Landing cost of petrol drops to 970 naira per liter, says the marketers. Well, will that translate something for the retailers? Does that mean anything for retailers? Does that mean anything for the end users? I'm going to see a reduction. Would you make it a staple price of at least 1,000? I don't even know. Does that even make sense? Why is it 1,000? Anyways, let's move forward. Federal government plans to improve power supply with $750 million. Also, it is a World Bank loan. Yes, this particular innovation is also going to be sponsored and powered by a $750 million World Bank loan. Federal government plans to improve power supply with a $750 million World Bank loan. Yay. All right, let's grab this one. Post Ekugo. Okay, that's sports. That's like absolutely not my track. All right, let's see stuff on the political scene. Anambra's IGR grows by over 100% in 1 year, says Soludo's government. That is good. Moving forward, how gunmen murdered Osai Chinedu, political science lecturer. In his that story is incomplete, but you can grab uh, the full details on your favorite news channels, especially High Voltage. These stories are up there. It's unfortunate for the unfortunate death of Osai Chinedu. It's also all of the things that came to our security for. We hope to hear absolutely less of. I don't want to hear things like this, and a lot of this has been in the news. On unusual circumstances, they are harassing Nigerians and treating Nigerians very poorly. Travelers who are on the road this festive period have called attention to the harassment of your men on the roads. I don't know. What are you people trying to turn a responsible occupation into in this country? A standard organization of respect and total integrity. I don't know what you people are trying to turn a police force into, but you must understand that you have a certain responsibility to the Nigerian people. Whatever the reason why your behaviors have become this rascally, I hope you know that you are actually out here to serve and that you took an oath. No matter how unserious you all might take that, but it does mean something in the grand scheme of things. You are responsible for the oath that you've taken and the allegiance you have sworn to Nigerians to protect them. Moving forward, 2025, Tinubu seeks 34.82 trillion naira revenue to fund 49.7 trillion naira budget. Okay. All right, let's move forward once more. Abuja demolitions. Armed soldiers attack development control officials and cut away vehicles. That's it on the Vanguard this morning. The phone lines are officially open 0706 048 5853. You can also call 0915 570 8347. Let's talk the 2025 budget and all it means, all the implications, what it implies for Nigerians 2025. I don't know what year we've had, 2024. Some people have made tremendous success, have made tremendous progress at this time in this year 2024. Some people even became millionaires and became even wealthier and more comfortable, got better jobs, moved into better apartments. You must understand that a lot of people had a very good year in Nigeria, but the percentage, it's quite little compared to people who did not have a good year at all. I know families that had to move back to the villages this year. I know families who had pulled their children out of school this year, and so many other terrible things that have happened. Good morning to you. All right, you can call us back. Our numbers are open 0706 048 5853. Also, you can call 0915 570 8347. Now, a good percentage of Nigerians, a very good amount of Nigerians did not have a good year in 2024. Now, we were hoping that by the time this budget came out, that we would have seen some of the major concerns of Nigerians being addressed in this budget. But it doesn't seem to me like this is the cup of tea of the people who have compiled this budget. Let me take you to our investigated stories and tell you some of the things that we have found out about this budget. The key allocations in this budget, defense and security, is going to get 4.91 trillion from this budget. Infrastructure is going to get 4.06 trillion. Health is going to get 2.48 trillion. And education is going to get 3.52 trillion. Now, state governors should handle agriculture. All right, that is what the budget is implying, that state governors have to manage agriculture and deal with that. I don't know the mathematics behind that. Who's doing the math? Who did the math? And why did they come about this? How did they come up with these numbers? If you gave security 4.91 trillion, all right, if you gave 6.91 trillion and gave education 3.52 trillion, what was the rest of the money for? All right, so this is it. We need to go on a commercial break, and when we come back, I am going to introduce you to my guests. I think the estate guru is here and the lawyer is here. I know that you want to drop your comments and contributions on the phone lines, please do that. And you can also drop your comments and contributions on YouTube as well. We're analyzing the budget and as well dropping real estate tips and lawyer guidance. That's free counsel in terms of your real estate business, just in case you are one of the people who sent us messages to make this particular program possible this morning. All right, so if you're listening or you have brothers and sisters who have come back into the country and they are trying to make purchases or trying to make investments as regards real estate, or you might be looking into changing homes or purchasing a new one, well, when we come back we will show you how to go about that. This is High Voltage. Stay with us. Which one of them came in?
Ogini na-eme.
Ya na ịmara ife na-eme.
Ogini.
O Odenigbo. Ebe anyị nọ na-akpa ịsala anyị. Ife gbasara omenala Igbo. Bịa ka anyị nọkọ ọnụ. Maka na si na ajụkọ mamịrị ọnụ, ọgbọ ụfụfụ.
Ife kwukwanu bụ eziokwu.
Ka anyị kpaa nkata ụmụnne. Every Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m.
Odenigbo.
Exclusively on
Volt 104.3 FM.
Okay. The hits just keep on coming.
Looking for something fresh,
Okay.
exciting, and downright entertaining?
Non-stop music.
introducing
Volt Express,
Volt Express.
your ultimate destination for laughter, music, celebrity gist, trending topics, and pure entertainment. Join us on Mondays through Saturdays, 12 to 3 p.m. exclusively on
Volt 104.3 FM.
Welcome back to High Voltage. My name is Mavis Atudume. We are reviewing headlines this morning, and I told you that I'll be bringing one of my friends to the studio this morning to talk to you about real estate. He represents Realtor Kings and, of course, Blossom Gardens. He's been here before. My friend Elijah is here. You're welcome, Elijah. Good morning.
Hi, Mavis. Good morning.
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. Thank you for coming out this morning. So tell me, what's real estate looking like in Enugu these days?
Oh, real estate is growing very fast in Enugu recently.
Oh, really?
You can see around everywhere is looking beautiful, right?
Okay.
The structures are coming up. A lot of people are coming back to Enugu to invest
Okay.
and start building on their land now.
Oh.
There are different kind of structures coming in. A lot of people also coming in for the economic viability of the state.
Well, I thought we were broke and the economy was really bad.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
There are different parts of the economy.
Please clear me out, because I'm of the opinion that a lot of us are very broke at this time. So I'm curious. Tell me how it works.
Right, that's relative, being broke is relative.
You look at that. That's why I like to hang with because down here it's not really interesting. So tell me, how
Okay.
does it work?
Okay, so here's the thing. At this point where Nigeria is in its a phase of growth, right? Different people can decide to use their resources for things that will align with that growth trajectory that
Okay.
Nigeria is having. So
Okay.
at this point, you can see that it feels like the naira is weakening, feels like other currencies are stretching against the naira, right? And what happens is over time it normalizes. This has happened before now. It happens from time to time. Right? It
Okay.
takes decades sometimes. But during that time, what happens is if you invest your money in assets like real estate,
Okay.
right, it appreciates better in the long run compared to short-term investment.
Okay. 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 So I just got backs. This is
IJGB.
this is their moment. So I think a lot of our brothers and sisters are coming in. But I've also heard that people are telling them not to, make a lot of investments because of the way the country is going. So what's your advice to people who are coming home with hopes to invest?
Oh, really, it's more about, well, I'll tell them to please listen to those that are already invested.
What
Right.
does that mean?
Okay, what I'm trying to say is this. When you are going down a path, you don't listen to someone that has not been there before to tell you, oh, that place is bad, that place is good. Listen to
Okay.
those that have been there already. Listen to those that are currently building. Why are they building? Why is it that? What does it feel like? Some people are saying don't invest in Nigeria, don't invest in the Lagos state, while there are other people that are erecting structures. Why is it that people are saying don't invest in Lagos, don't invest in Nigeria, while there are new projects coming up? The thing is, there's something these people are seeing that the
Okay.
general populace is not seeing,
Okay.
and that is what we usually call insider information in industries.
Insider information.
Yes, there are people who have sat down, understood this trajectory. Again, I've said it before, this happened before now, right? There's always going to be a time in our nation's history when it feels like everything is just going berserk. It feels like nothing is working. Yet, certain industries are growing and they will keep growing, right? So if you study the trends, you look at the data, you can make informed decisions. Not just listen to hearsay or what people are saying online. Social media is not real life. I tell people on social media, go outside and touch grass. Right? See what is happening outside. Don't just sit behind a keyboard and say, oh, nothing is working, this and that. Go outside and see what's happening.
Okay.
People
So
are investing massively into Enugu State. Just look around. And you can also see how the government is trying to beautify the state to bring in more people that would, relate with the beautification of the state. Look at the amount of work that's going into road
so
construction.
you believe that the beautification of the state, it does something for
It does amazing things. I mean, why do we go to Dubai?
Why do you go to Dubai? You tell me.
Right.
Why do you go to
When
Dubai?
I was in Dubai, right,
Okay.
the first thing I wanted to see was the tallest building in the world.
And this means something.
That means something. I want to see the dancing fountain. Right? They
Okay.
played Michael Jackson's what's his hit song, and the fountain was dancing to it. It's beautiful.
Okay, you wanted to see that stuff.
Yes.
And you're saying that these things actually help.
These things bring in people. People want to invest in places that people are going to.
Okay.
Do you understand? And in real estate, we say that you find where people are going to and you invest there. The more people go to a certain place, you go back there and invest. Because the people will meet your investment and they will use your investment, and that will bring in more cash flow for you. So that is the economics behind real estate.
All right, tell me, how is Enugu looking on that scale right now? What do we look like from a real estate perspective? What do we look like?
Okay, so naturally in real estate, we look at location, we look at the development, we look
Okay.
at the infrastructure, we look at how money flows in a particular location. And one thing is just like any other state, Enugu State has its own challenges,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But that being said, we understand now that the state is growing,
Okay.
right? And there are a lot of projects coming on. One of them is this, the estate that we're overseeing currently, right? Which is the Blossom Garden Estate, right?
Okay.
And the theme of the estate is the first fly estate in Enugu State, right? The estate is going to have a helipad, have other development things on it. But that also, by the way, there are other things that the government is doing, right? The road construction, the roundabout you're seeing, right? All of these things, in as much as they look superficial, they are the reason people live in certain areas, certain places.
Okay.
Why do people go to Abuja, for example? Abuja roads are smooth, big, wide. You can drive there, right? Those are the things that people go to. And people will go to these places and live in these places for these same superficial reasons,
Okay.
right? So if you come back to your state and develop your state with these superficial things, people will move down there because the quality of life will start to improve over time. Yes, there may be a time when it feels like nothing is working, as I said earlier, but it is in the development stage. And anything that is in the development stage will one day develop.
All right. Thank you for telling us about that. Now, I was more interested in the people who are coming in. I know that people who live here, I mean, if you live here, you can see things for yourself. But people who don't live here, what they have is what they hear. Probably their relatives or people who are close to them say, okay, you can do this and do that. Now, if I just came into the country and I wanted to invest in Enugu in particular, what are the things I'm supposed to look out for? What are the first things that should come to mind
Number one is accessibility.
to the area?
Yes, how accessible are the roads or the location? You look at security, right? You look at economic viability. If I invest this amount of money in this, how long will it take me to get it back, or to get it back in this fold, in this maybe times 3 or times 4 times 5 times 10?
Okay.
Right? I also want to look at who are those that are going to invest in this place, right? Are there industries that is the government partnering with other countries or government to invest or build something in the state, right? So when I look at the trajectory of the government decisions, I can decide that okay, this is a good place for me to invest in. As I said earlier, the Enugu State government is doing a lot of making a lot of decisions when it comes to building things in the state. It's just about finish. I think they're just running up the ICC center, right? International Conference Center, right? It has a big, beautiful space, right? If you left Enugu State a year ago and you come back this year, you would see changes.
That is true.
You will see changes.
That is true.
If you're living here, you will not probably see the changes because you're living here, right? If you're living here, you probably just like overlook some of these changes. But if you left Enugu State 1 year ago and you come back this year, you would see all these changes. You see better roads. You see new projects coming up, right? And if you leave this year and come back next year, imagine what you also see.
Okay.
Right? For example, the location of our current project about 5 months ago was just a forest. Just trees everywhere, right?
Yeah.
5 months afterwards, there are roads, there are people working on the side. Now come back a year after, you see projects coming up as well, right? And that's how cities are built. This is how economies are built as well. This is how investments are brought into the state, This is how we try our best to ensure that there are more and more an influx of more businesses coming to the state as well, right? One thing that I really like so far about what the government is doing in the state is its concentration in looking for diaspora investment. At this point where it seems that the naira and dollar or other currencies is weakening against other currencies, we need more diaspora investment coming in. We need more people in diaspora to come and invest in Enugu State. It is going to be cheaper for them, right? In the long run, they can also reap the ROI of their investment.
But it is said that this diaspora business, especially with the Nigerian government trying to put a stop with transactions in dollars and other foreign currencies, how does that affect
Okay, so that
what you're saying about
conversation,
investors?
that conversation is about spending dollar in Nigeria, not investing, right? It's two different things.
Okay.
So our currency is naira, right? There are certain businesses that list their services and their products in dollars, trying to put a stop to that. And this is not new actually. Something that has been happening for a while.
Of course.
And the government
of
has been
course.
trying to stop it for a while as well, right? But of course, the powers that be try to maneuver and try to make things happen their way. But the thing is, we do not want to bring another currency into Nigeria and start spending it. It's going to weaken our currency. No matter how you feel about it, it's going to continue to weaken our currency. And we don't want that to happen, right? The majority of Nigerians spend in naira.
Of course,
Right?
of course. It's
When
naira we have.
when you throw it in naira and start spending in dollars or another currency, you start to you start to make your own nation's currency a minority in your own country. You don't want that to happen. We've seen this kind of thing happen on other countries, and it didn't end well for them.
All right. So, okay. So in Enugu these days, if one wanted to truly invest, how secured are properties? Because in the previous administration, there was a serious case of land grabbing in Enugu, whereby people purchased properties and purchased lands, and there was it's been sold to like 5 other people and things like that. So there were clashes, community clashes, individual clashes. It was getting dangerous at some point about these land issues. Now, since the inception of Governor Peter Mbah, we haven't really had a lot of that. Now, are there plans put in place by the government to checkmate things like that? What is the legitimacy of estate investment these days in Enugu?
Yes, absolutely. So, as a company I work with, right, we have this policy to ensure that we buy our properties from the government themselves. Yes.
Okay.
So that adds to legitimacy. So I mean, according to the Land Use Act, the governor, right, oversees the land within its territory, right? And whether your land is ancestry or not, you're supposed to go regularize your land with the land ministry in your state.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Even
you
the
have
ones
to.
in our villages, are we
Yes.
supposed to do that?
Yes, you have to. So you need to go and get a
Wait
surveyor.
a moment. Wait a
Okay.
moment. Okay, let's take it slowly, right?
All right.
So we have, like, when people who are coming home
Yeah.
here in Anibu, there's a way we might pay rent everywhere else in the world, but when we come back to our villages, the land at the back of our house,
Yeah.
that's our house
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there. That's our land. So you're saying that backyard house now,
Yeah.
that land at the back of the house that is obviously ours,
Yeah.
we need to go and get it documented. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
So how do we go about this, and why should we get it documented?
Okay, so every city has a plan,
Okay.
right? Every city is created with the sole goal, and this is proof. I am the son of so and so, right?
Okay.
And then once you tell the government these lands, and then once you tell the government these lands, surveying means is to carve out that this is where the land is located. They will now give you another land that is meant for residential,
Oh,
so you can
really?
leave that place. Do you understand? So
These procedures, do
Yes.
they cost money? Do they cost a lot of money?
they usually do not.
They usually do not.
Yes.
So, a situation whereby we don't do all of this,
resell this land. And what happens is the land will resell this land. And what happens is the land will they cannot be registered. The government can come and then use that land for this intended purpose and take you off it. Now remember, the land was not registered in the first place. That means you cannot be compensated for it, for its ownership, because you never owned it in the first place.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, let's take, for instance, the demolitions that are happening in Abuja.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so I read a document where it said that one of the women whose house was demolished, she had been in the building for about 40 something years. But apparently it wasn't hers. But obviously she owns the land. How do you own a property that you don't have legal papers for? How does that happen?
Okay, so let me break it out from here. First things first, every land has to be registered with the government. As I said earlier, every single plot that you own or that can be owned has to be registered for the government. There is a document that you should have that signifies that you are the owner of a land. That document is called a deed of assignment, right? Now, different kinds of deeds, and there's a deed. There's deed of assignment, there is deed of convenience, there's deed of gift.
Okay.
There are other kinds of deeds, right?
As pertaining land.
Land, yes.
Okay.
So, for example, if I were to gift you a land, I say, oh, Mavis, I like you, I like the work you do. This is land that belongs to you, right? I will give you a deed of gift.
Oh,
right?
okay.
That
Who
deed,
drafts this deed?
a lawyer does.
Lawyers.
Yes,
Okay.
lawyers do.
Okay.
So this deed conveys the ownership from myself to you.
All right.
Do you understand?
And it's legal.
It is legal.
It makes it mine.
It makes it yours after registering that deed.
Okay, wait. The lawyer brings the deed.
Yes, the owner brings it, drafts out the deed,
Okay.
puts its seals on it, and then registers it and gives to you.
Okay.
Right. So once that deed is registered, it is now in the government repository that Mavis owns a 500 square meter of land.
Okay.
So and so place.
Okay, so I have to go and now register
Yes.
this deed.
Yes, you
And
have
now
to.
it becomes legally mine.
Yes.
It's no longer your land.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is good information, because a lot of us are very illiterate when it comes to things like this, because turns out that things are deep. You just know one corner and you don't know the rest. And we had a series one time where we dealt with lawyers in Enugu and agents, and getting apartments in Enugu, and how getting accommodation in Enugu was becoming something else. That was much earlier this year. And now we are gathering information from lawyers and tenants and agents and real estate people who know how to direct people, because we found out that it was a case of ignorance, because people didn't know how to go into these contracts with the lawyers and the agents. And so it's illiteracy in terms of estate intelligence.
Yes. It is the lack of knowledge, right? We have not been properly educated. These are not taught in schools, right? They should be taught in schools.
They
right?
should.
They should be taught in schools.
But they're taught in the higher institutions, right?
To some extent, yes.
To some extent.
Yes. So for myself, I was not taught this. I had to learn it in the real world, right?
Okay, so this is like you're giving us street tips now.
Yes.
Well, this is street.
It's street.
Oh my goodness. It sounded very like bookish. Like this is street.
It is street. It is
Okay,
street. Right.
okay.
So I've worked in several real estate environments. I've worked in Lagos. I've worked in Abeokuta. I've worked in Ibadan. I've worked in Abuja.
Okay.
Right. I'm also here in Enugu, and I can tell you for a fact that this happens everywhere. Right.
It happens everywhere.
Everywhere. I also want to say that there are positive sides to ensuring that your land is registered, right? So if the government can still decide to use your land that is registered for something else. It's very possible.
Okay.
However, because it is registered in your name, right, you can be compensated for it.
Okay, so that's how people are worthy of that compensation.
Exactly.
So whereby the land is not legalized while I'm
Yes. It's not in the land registry.
yes, and then the government decides to use that property.
Yes, you can't be compensated. You won't be
There
compensated.
won't be any compensation.
Again, there's no proof that you own the land.
Oh wow.
And this takes so much dimensions. We can be here talking about all of these things, and we would not even end this. There's also the part of minors owning lands, right?
Minors
Yes.
owning land.
In Nigeria, you're a minor if you are less than 21 years old, right? And you can't legally own land as a minor. The same
At
way
21.
below 21.
Below 21, yes.
So you can own land from 21 years upwards. But as long as you're below 21, you can't own land. So even if, as a parent, you buy land for your child and you
Okay.
put your child's name on it,
Yes.
you cannot defend the ownership of that land in court.
You, the parent,
Yes.
because you put the name of your child there.
Yes.
What about the cases of where the child inherits the land?
Yes. In that case, there has to be someone who is overseeing that inheritance, right?
Okay.
Until the child has the ability to look after it himself
really?
or herself. And yes, and that is why we always advise our clients, right, that if you intend to do this kind of thing where you want your child to own your property or whatever it is, set up a company, right, a family trust of some sort,
Okay.
right, where your child are shareholders in this company.
All right.
Do you understand? And over time, they can go into the company and become directors when they're of age, and they can own. So whatever it is you are buying, whatever property you are getting, will be acquired by that company.
Okay, so it's the company purchasing these properties.
Exactly.
Not the individuals.
individuals.
Is this the new way to protect properties?
This has been going on for a long time.
For a long
A
time.
very long time.
It seems we're just coming into it as Nigerians. Like I've been hearing it. I've heard it where it's divorce cases and people are saying no, they didn't buy it in their names. They bought it in the name of companies. So you're saying families and
you can own a
can
company,
protect themselves
yes,
like
exactly,
this.
yes.
So instead of assigning those properties to the kids directly because they can't get access, it's better to do them with companies.
Exactly.
Wow,
So
this
that
is
way,
good.
right? For example, if both parents are deceased, right,
Okay,
while the children are still much alive, the court can grant someone to oversee that company affairs. In which case, you're overseeing all the assets that the company owns that the parents had gotten before their demise.
Isn't this the situation whereby the person who has been asked to oversee this thing becomes smart and tries to do?
Oh, no, all
is
of
there
this.
protection?
Yes, there is
There is
protection. There is
protection.
a protection. The law is very flexible about things like this and protects the children in cases like this. Again, it ensures that your entire family is well taken care of
Okay.
when you're not around.
Okay.
Right. And obviously, we always tell our clients, so also ensure you have a lawyer. Right.
Sure.
Be friends with a lawyer. Get a lawyer to get your will done as well. Right.
Get your will. I wish you had come earlier. Okay, so okay. We don't have a
We're
lot
going-
of time. We don't have a
We're
lot
going
of
deeper and deeper and
I'm
deeper.
I'm going like there's too many questions in my head. I wish I could get them all out. But because of time, right? Help me just drop like 3 or 4 tips that you will give to anybody who is coming into the country and intends to invest in real estate. 4 things that they need to know.
Okay, number 1, do not invest in places you like.
Wow. Why can't we go deeper?
No, you're-
Why can't you invest in places you like? What's wrong with
You said
where
4
you
for
like?
you're asking questions.
Good,
now.
4 tips. All right, go.
All right. And number 2, invest where people are going to.
Don't invest in where you like. Number 2, invest in where people are going to. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Number 3, always do verification. No matter how sweet, no matter how nice, no matter how beautiful the ad is, always verify.
What does verification mean?
Verification means ensuring that the land is authentic and is from the government or registered with the government.
This is what the verification is.
Yes.
Okay, it's not like going there to look at the land and check.
No,
That's not what it is.
No, I'm saying make sure that the property, make sure you have access to the property document and you verified authenticity of the document with the state government. And number 4, ensure that you enlist a broker. A broker will help you save a lot of money. Not a family member, not your sister, not your brother, not your uncle, not your dad.
Okay.
A broker.
You said that with an emphasis. It's like you've seen a lot of accompanying dads.
Yes, I have.
When it comes to broker.
Yes.
Okay, so but we're going to pay the broker, right?
Yes, usually you pay a percentage of the property that you're buying, the amount of property you're buying. But again, this is after the services are rendered. And of course, it is very flexible.
Okay, so we need We need the real estate agent. We need the lawyer.
Mhm.
Then we need a broker.
Yes, absolutely.
This is more, you can depend on these three people.
You can absolutely depend on them.
They're better than calling
Usually-
dad and the brothers to come.
In fact, usually a broker will help you with every other person you need, a lawyer, a surveyor, anything you need.
Well, the broker gets to
Yes.
now
So a
bring
broker
all
is
this.
different from an agent, right? A broker deals with ensuring that the deal goes through and you get the best share of the deal.
All right, Elijah, thank you for coming. I wish that I could bring you for an absolute masterclass, but I think we got it. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. This is High Voltage. We're dealing with social economic affairs, news, and everything that you need to know to keep you up to date with your investments, with your life, and your finances. All right, the budget is still in focus. Please go to High Voltage News on YouTube. We have all the information that you need to know about that. Drop your comments and contributions on our Facebook and then on WhatsApp. Okay, you can also send us a text message or WhatsApp message on our phone lines. All right, I'll see you tomorrow morning. My name is Mavis Atudume, and of course you listened to myself and Elijah. He's from Realtor Kings. They are real estate gurus and they take care of Blossom Gardens in Enugu State here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Have a great day.